Magpies Love Mirrors, one of the biggest cultural phenomena of the century.
I don't think I'd be where I am today without Magpies Love Mirrors.
I have a Magpies Love Mirrors birthday party every year.
Me too. It's a show for the whole family.
There's no age limit on having a good laugh.
But how did a series, which started as 3 kids, a ball of string, a slice of cheese, and an idea,
I was really quite unsure how it was all going to turn out.
touch the hearts and minds of a nation?
We were writers, comedians, and actors. But most of all, we were pioneers, visionaries, rock stars, pastry chefs, writers, and comedians.
I will never get over when Potato Man dropped his rise.
Architects, pickpockets, greengrocers, synchronized swimmers.
That one always opens the floodgates.
Embark with me on this 50-year journey and bear witness to Magpies Love Mirrors. To understand Magpies Love Mirrors, one has to go back to the early days of broadcast television, when it started out as a detective drama.
Back then it was all sex, drugs and rock and roll. Real post-watershed stuff.
Well, Magpie?
The killer was none other than your esteemed colleague, Lady Barnaby.
Curses. You win this round, Magpie. Remarkable, Magpie. But how could you have possibly figured it out?
Dr. Patcho, old boy, it was a matter of simple deduction.
So, you were there?
You bet your ass, Dr. P. It seems my brilliance is rubbing off on you, Patcho. One of these days, you'll be detecting my detection. One day. And all on your own.
Back then, of course, there were only 3 channels and only 2 TVs to watch them on.
Those were the golden days. So many iconic plotlines. When Magpie foiled the Great Train Heist.
Can't believe we pulled it off. The greatest heist of the century.
Dare I say the greatest train heist of the century. It was us. We did it.
Oh, I remember this one. Where Magpie cracked the case of the getaway driver.
Go, go, go!
Step on it!
Pop culture was moving 100 miles an hour. This was before the metric system, of course.
With the turn of the decade, people wanted something new and cheap thrills. And that, sadly, meant we had to say goodbye to Magpie.
Dr. Patcho?
Yes, Magpie.
It seems I have solved my final case. The case of who my best friend is. Do you remember Kenneth, the charming young innkeeper from that case down on the south coast? I'm going to live with him forever. He was a hoot. Yes. Oh. and Gary.
Dr. Patcho had always been a fan favourite in his sidekick role. It felt right to make him the lead and drag the show kicking and screaming into the modern era. Colour TV changed everything.
Dr. Gary Patcho would soon take the nation's screens by storm.
You cold.
Gaz! Thank God you're here.
Stone cold. Killer could be on the other side of the world by now.
Looking back, almost all the plot lines were based around soup.
That's what folks were all about back then. Liquid foods were the zeitgeist. Soup was in the air.
Wait. A second bowl. Oh, piping hot. The killer's still in this room.
But eventually, Gaz's soup went cold.
Turn those fucking cameras off.
We came out in the thousands that day, and we wept. Ate soup in front of Parliament. I think we were all hoping Gaz could smell it from heaven.
With Gaz finally killed off, we could make the show we'd always wanted to make. It was time to take a trip down to the south coast. See how Magpie was getting on.
So, if it wasn't Grandma and it wasn't Potato Man, then who did eat the last cookie?
Magpie! Another case solved!
Oh, the recast? Well, the original Magpie actor was long dead, of course. As director, it was my vision to cast my daughter Susie. Even found a role for her mate Clive, too.
Oh, Susie and Clive were smashing. A real breath of fresh air.
With them, we generated classic moment after classic moment. When Potato Man dropped his fries. Wow.
I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but that Potato Man scene, the one where he drops those fries, we actually stole that from ancient prophecy.
Oh, was that another sitcom?
And yea, when the magpie flies south, then shall the spud drop the fries. The magpie scroll. In their ancient dialect, spud actually meant potato man. Fascinating.
This sitcom business was new to us all. It would sometimes be difficult not to slip back to Magpie's detective roots.
End of the road, Buster.
We were writing the rulebook and tearing it up. All at the same time.
As the sitcom went from strength to strength, we were able to get celebrity guests in. Some real heavy hitters.
You've got to practice if you want to nail that big audition, Magpie.
It's hard to pinpoint the exact moment it transitioned from a sitcom to what we'd now call a chat show.
Thanks, Richard.
Sir Richard Shaftmoss, everyone! His new book, Auteur, Provocateur, Actor, is in stores now.
Chat shows didn't exist in those days. We were pioneers, damn it. If you put Columbus and Edison in a room, made them come up with an hour of prime time tally, it'd be darn close to what we did.
And it wasn't just the guests. No. There were features, games.
My goodness, the games! There were some corkers in there. Judging a book by its cover.
Is it a novel?
Incorrect! It was a massive atlas!
Another fan favourite was guessing celebrities' ages.
42.
Oh no, I do know this one.
Julia Jockett.
Well, she is 42. But she was not the celebrity I was looking for. I'm afraid all of that money will be burned.
What?
Burn the cash! Burn the cash! Burn the cash!
And who could forget Mouthful of Grapes?
Mouth full of grapes! Will they sink?
Or will they swim?
Catch the ball before it falls.
Who will win the record deal?
No one really knew what Magpie was in those days. All we knew is that we had to tune in 10 p.m. every Saturday and 2 till 7 Christmas Day.
Presents, turkey, Queen's speech, Magpie special, leftovers, bed. Every year. I won't have Christmas any other way.
Magpies had stood the test of time for centuries, but one guest changed everything.
Yeah, I invented the green screen.
No, my instant reaction was, she's mad. Then, she's evil. Then, wait, who is this? Then, she might just be right.
Special effects were our hot ticket out of the present. But we chose our most iconic moments and remade them entirely, frame by frame. Now, was it worth it? You tell me.
The remake of the iconic Potato Man drops his fries scene was an instant hit.
Honey, I'm home, and I have brought you fries.
Ah. No. Potato Man. These fries are not what I asked for.
Ah. No. What is even the point anyway?
The word you're looking for is excess.
Clearly it produced results, but it just wasn't sustainable. We were broke.
I'm Susie Spoon and he's Clive Boone. You're watching The News at Noon.
This just in. Global conglomerate Chaff Corp has bought out beloved cultural staple Magpies Love Mirrors.
Thank God we jumped that ship. Clive?
Thanks, Susie. We're newscasters now.
We bought Magpies Love Mirrors for a fraction of its value. Half, which in those days was a lot of money. We had to make it financially viable.
Remember that summer where we aired reruns of the original series? Chaff Corp made us introduce product placement in post.
Our boffins worked round the clock to ensure it didn't take anything away from the originals.
Remarkable, Magpie. But how could you have possibly figured it out?
Dr. Patcho, old boy. It was a matter of
collecting Raisin Randies whilst they were still hot!
Repurpose the show. Slice it up, gut it, toss it in a wok, season to taste and serve it to your grandma. But do not rebroadcast old episodes. We had to walk.
One by one, the writers left. The period that followed is known as the off-screen years.
Of course, with the writers gone, Chaff Corp were free to milk the show for all it was worth. And boy, did they have the stones to pull it off.
Oh, the off-screen years. It was heartbreaking to watch the show we love turn into nothing more than merchandise. One week it was t-shirts. The next, a series of microwavable meals. Hair products. Department stores. I think it was a budget airline at one point.
No one ever sprays over them, out of respect. Here it is, the tag of the Magpie. You'd see it appear in your city and you'd know that the magpies had come to roost. Never for long, but it was enough for us in those days.
Magpies Love Mirrors was real cloak and dagger back then. You'd hear a rumour in the pub, a phone box would ring, and there'd be no one on the other end, but we knew who was calling. We knew.
It fizzled, it fluttered, it popped up here and there, and then one day, it just disappeared entirely.
It would be another decade until magpies resurfaced. And it did so in the most curious of ways.
A new viral sensation is sweeping the nation.
Everyone is doing the magpie.
It's what Magpie always used to do when he solved a case. There was no questioning the intention.
I don't know how it happened, but we were back, baby.
As soon as Sharma saw it on the news, he called me. I called William, she called Franklin. The whole team met up and traded stories. New and old. Stories.
Where do I think the series is going next? Well, I'm not a gambling man, but I would wager that no one can know for sure.
Next time, Magpies Love Mirrors celebrates 100 years.
Ah, yes! The 50 years episode. I remember this one. My word. I look so young.
Like to grab a magpie. Some not for the grapes.
Retrospectives were all the rage back then. People went mad for it. Getting together in a room, talking about old times. I don't know. All seems a bit self-indulgent to me.
Hey, honey, get in here. This Potato Man character looks just like me.